still breathing this day, but remember what some said would happen this day?
The consequences of failing to raise the debt ceiling would be Armageddon-like.
We'll have an economic catastrophe.
It could be a formula for recession or worse.
Thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of businesses would fail.
But wait a minute, baby. Anyway, never mind we hit our credit limit today. Now they're saying that it is still going to hit us more like probably 10 weeks or so from today, when the cash really runs out and all our options just fizzle out. To Illinois Republican Congressman Joe Walsh, who says these guys just can't figure it out. This fear game simply ain't cutting it. But the fear game persists, Congressman, maybe they say, because that real day of reckoning is formally about 10 weeks off. What do you say?
I'm amazed, Neil, that you and I are able to even speak to each other today, that it hasn't impacted the technology here. Here I sit in Milwaukee. The air I'm breathing is pretty nice. I don't know what it's like there in New York. Look, you and I have talked about this. This is shameful that the president and his administration have been doing this for months, trying to scare the American people about this debt ceiling. I will say again, what this country is scared about is the debt. The debt ceiling will come and go. They've kicked it down the can another 10 weeks. I wouldn't at all be surprised, Neil, if August 2nd comes along and all of a sudden Timothy Geithner is able to find a couple tools in his toolbox to extend it another month or two.
But you're one of a growing group of congressmen, but you were an early believer in this, that we over-frighten people about this sort of stuff, that say there's hell to pay if this happens. This day itself, whether it was going to be delayed or not, was supposed to be a horrific day because the world markets would panic at the notion we still hadn't gotten this problem addressed. That did not happen today. And I'm wondering what that's saying.
To me, it's saying, again, I wish my party were a little stronger with this as well. I don't think the American people buy this stuff anymore. They see the numbers that they care about. And when they hear that their government borrows $188 million every hour of every day, that's what they're concerned about. The Obama administration has been doing this. Look, Neil, I'm out there talking about entitlement reform. And all the Democrats are doing is trying to scare folks about, oh, those big bad Republicans want to take away your Medicare.
But is it just Democrats, Congressman? Because your Speaker, John Boehner, is very serious about cutting. I take nothing away from his zeal in that regard. But he said it would be better to raise this debt ceiling. He's still saying he hopes he can. Obviously, he wants to attach conditions to that. But I'm wondering whether this fear factor is working both sides of the aisle.
Well, I think the fear factor is primarily coming from the Democratic side of the aisle. I think what you're seeing, Neil, on our side of the aisle is a fear of doing what needs to be done. There's
more
a
the
lack
case
of...
in the Senate, right? Congressman, you and I talked about this, but
Yeah.
the Senate has given up your zeal, your body's zeal, the House, to rein in Medicare. It's a non-starter among Republicans in the Senate. So what does that tell you?
Well, it tells me that, again, politicians up here in general, in Washington in general, tend to be timid, tend to be afraid to do what they need to do. And I don't think, Neil, they sufficiently recognize what sent this big freshman class to Washington. I think there's a mandate to be absolutely outside the box. There's a mandate to be bold. We got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to try to get our spending house in order. But again, the longer you've been in Washington, no matter what party you are, you tend to not understand where most folks are.
Well, that's very wisely put. Congressman, good seeing you again, as always.